Health ratios, September 14th through 18th. OEQ, how can we use ratios every day? The engagement, how would life be different if we did not have ratios? Some of the answers to that question was we wouldn't be able to cook correctly, we wouldn't be able to bake correctly, we wouldn't have correct measurements for houses, some things along those lines. The warm-up. There are 112 decrepit, wicked old goats on Thor's farm. There are 23 wicked old chickens left on Carter's farm. I think he ate some. So here's Carter, my dog, and here's Thor, my other dog. Put in the ratio form. Compare the number of wicked old chickens to wicked old goats. Write in your journal or OneNote in the 4 different formats, and then we're going to put it on the shout-out slide next. So notice how it's listed as 112 first and then 23. Yet the question asks us compare the number of chickens to goats. So whatever the question tells you to do, put in ratio form, you have to follow that format. So we had some answers to the questions. And the correct answer was 23.112, and then over here 23/112, and over here 23/112, and over here it was for every 23 chickens. Right here, for every 23 chickens, there are 112 goats. And the reason is because it asked for chickens first and then goats, even though the story told you that there was 112 goats first. The units must match. So then we did a video on proportions from Math Antics, and that link will be in Schoology. Proportions are related to ratios in fraction form and equivalency. So the fractions must be equal. So we have 4 pugs, 4 black pugs to 3 fawn pugs. So the proportion of black pugs to fawn pugs are uneven. Then this right here was a warm-up for the honors class for math, which was 15/70 equals 60/x. It's find the unknown number, variable x, in this proportional equation. So we have to make this an equal, equivalent fraction. So we have here, what is the unknown number and how many times do you multiply the top by? Well, the unknown number is 280. How did we get to 280? Right here. I multiplied 70 by 4 because 60 divided by 15 is 4. This one was pretty good too. I didn't need to multiply because I already knew that 15 was a fourth of 60, and there was 70 in 15/70, therefore 70 would have to be multiplied by 4. So there are different ways to answer that question. The other warm-up for Common Core is the same thing, but the numbers are a little different. Find the ratio proportion as an equivalent fraction. So 25/75 is equal to 100. What is the question mark? Find the question mark, the unknown number, and how many times did you multiply it by? So in order to get from 25 to 100, I'd multiply it by 4. Therefore, I would multiply 75 times 4, which is 300. So the unknown number is 300. Then we went to Agile Mind. We went to get onto topic 2, exploring ratios. We had a workspace that we looked at, and I showed the kids how to use the workspace appropriately or correctly, and they had a little bit of fun with it. I let them play around with it a little bit. So the guided practice, then I put them into teams, and in order to write on this, you would have to click the A button over here, then click somewhere in here where you see that you get a box. And in the box, you can put whatever you want for now. And then you can move this around. That's how you use the collaborative space. Really not for turtles, but turtles are cool anyway. So then we did a monster quiz, which was pretty cool. It put people into teams, and then what happened was it was a quiz, and you were in teams, and it was questions about ratios, true or false. So guided practice was in Agile Mind, slides number 2 through 10. Then we did a speed up game where we had questions for ratios. So our closure was find an equivalent fraction to 4 over 5. So 7 over 8 equals 14 over 16 or 21 over 24. So I multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So an equivalent fraction for this closure might be 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10, 8 over 10. You could actually go the opposite way too and divide it by 2, and you would get 2 over 2.5. And that concludes the lesson.